Back in the day, the only way to get something to look real in a movie was to shoot it practically, and so axe-wielding murderers in horror movies could only look as scary as the axe they were using to chop down the door with. But nowadays we can make classic horror movies look even scarier thanks to VFX, because we have more control over an effect's choreography, better storytelling, and the end result in general is more detailed, complex and effective. So here's our top pick of 6 horror movies that cleverly used VFX to put the horror in Hollywood. Number 1. It. The increased directability of visual effects allowed It filmmakers to control the precise path and positioning of Pennywise's red balloon. To control the path and speed of liquids, digitally remove dollies and set equipment, and to add more complexity and gore to an already pretty gruesome practical makeup. 2. Shaun of the Dead. Shaun of the Dead also used effects to enhance and perfect their practical effects, combining the original plates with a retractable pole, a blood element shot on a green screen set, and a CG pole element to achieve the final effect. A similar process was followed when the zombie lifts herself off the pole. Original plates with the retractable pole, a gut element, and a hole element made for a gruesome shot that left us... 3. Colour out of space. Colour out of space is the type of horror film that just wouldn't be possible without the use of CGI. Alien insects had to be both controllable and incredibly detailed. Impossible locations had to be filmed from impossible angles. Stomach-turning practical puppets had to be made more malevolent. And practical makeup and prosthetics had to be enhanced, adjusted, and animated. And all this combined with design and colour correction to create a psychedelic nightmare that managed to make the colour purple pretty damn scary. 4. The Conjuring. The Conjuring filmmakers also used digital effects to give them control of the passage of their effects. This allowed them to choreograph the path of the sheet to land on Bathsheba and then transport her to the window. Choreograph the timing, path and positioning of the fragments of this smashed chair, control the flight path of this pigeon and seamlessly transition to a real puppet, and produce a smashing glass effect that would have been too dangerous to attempt to achieve practically. Number 5. Dr. Sleep. Dr. Sleep is the sequel to The Shining, but unlike its predecessor, who didn't use VFX, put those pieces of paper away please, Dr. Sleep used digital effects to create tension. Add atmosphere. Or, in this case, make it snow. Visual effects allowed the filmmakers to have precise control over every single scene, from the recreation of Outlook Hotel in this establishing shot, to the lighting and CG snowfall in this shot. Set extensions and additional set dressing with CG elements here, and the digital removal or adjustment of elements here. Digital effects widen the scope of what is achievable visually and also improve the directability of those effects, allowing the director to walk the thin line between respecting Stephen King's original work and still maintaining a certain Kubrick character to the aesthetic. 6. His house. His house used digital effects to produce environments that could not have been done to the same level practically. The level of control and depth of the fog and mist in this shot couldn't have been achieved with a dry ice or smoke machine. These bodies emerging from seamlessly shallow water would have made for an extremely complex practical effect, and these wet footprints would have been practically impossible. We're not saying they didn't use practical effects, because they did, and neither are we saying that one is better than the other. Both practical and digital effects have their strengths and their uses, and when correctly combined, they can make you feel abandonment. Anguish. Disgust and repulsion. 1 minute they can have you wondering what's going to happen next, and the next they can have you wishing that you didn't know.